Let's go with some 91 score football. Let's get the West Coast Rip Cam going. Good to see the East Coast Cam is back as well.
Yeah, hopefully the camera doesn't auto zoom in like it had been. I changed the setting on it, so hopefully it'll cooperate this week. And if it doesn't, then well, I'm not going to smash the camera because I use it every week, but I'll figure something out.
You'll figure something out. Yeah, you don't want to smash the equipment. You know, it's like nowadays with the cost of hockey sticks. Like when I used to get like frustrated over like a bad play, you'd like bang your stick on the ice or the boards, and now you go to do that. It's like, oh no, that's too expensive to be doing that now. So we start off the pack here. We start off with the Hall of Famer right here, the no doubt Hall of Famer, Bruce Smith.
Yeah, we pulled Bruce Smith a lot here on the show the last however many weeks we've been doing these old football packs, and certainly a legend.
Big win for the Bills yesterday in Detroit. They get that bad taste of that Rams lost out of their mouth, and now the Bills close with the Patriots twice and the Jets, so they're going to win out probably, barring anything unforeseen.
Yeah, Josh Allen likely secured the MVP with his performance yesterday. He almost single-handedly won me a fantasy matchup I had no business winning, so I certainly appreciate that from Josh Allen. And just on the other side with Detroit, like all these injuries piling up, and like, I didn't really want to believe that Philadelphia was going to win the NFC, but I'm starting to believe it more and more now, just because by the time we get to the playoffs, I don't know who Detroit's going to have left healthy on either side of the ball. Really, they suffered more injuries on defense yesterday, and then I just saw the tweet from Adam Schefter before we came on today about how David Montgomery is going to miss the next few weeks with an MCL sprain.
I mean, maybe Jordan Montgomery's got some spare time here. Maybe he can fill in at running back or on defense for the Lions. But no, the Lions, it's like, yes, there's a next man up mentality, but the Lions defense is so banged up. They actually had to change their scheme to instead of to accommodate what they have available to them. That's bad. That's when you know it's not good.
I mean, look, they have a lot of talent. And you can change the scheme all you want. When you're pulling free agents off the street, there's only so much you can do. At some point, you just run out of NFL talent.
Now we got a twofer. We're coming up here because we got a former Washington tight end Don Warren, but we can talk about two teams right now with this guy, Todd Bowles, pictured there as Washington, but also now the head coach of the red hot Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am all on the Baker Mayfield bandwagon right now. I am totally in on the Bucs. I love what he's doing. I love how he got basically blamed in Cleveland. Oh, look how that worked out for them. And now he's had success 2 years in a row in Tampa Bay and is very likely going to win the NFC South. So
Baker certainly has a whole lot of swagger that you certainly like to see watching him. Like it's not like, I don't think it's an arrogance with him. I think it's just like the dude's like the most confident dude in the world. Like, and not to be like a graphic, make a graphic description. Like, dude walks in a room like he's got the biggest dick in the room, and like that's just how he plays. And like, I totally respect that with Baker Mayfield, and especially after like those first couple stops in his career didn't work out between Cleveland and Carolina, and then they got that brief cup of coffee with the Rams, and honestly, that time with Sean McVay probably salvaged his career because. From there he went to Tampa Bay, and he's been incredible since the Bucs signed him to be their quarterback. So, maybe it's a lesson to be learned not to be so quick to give up on these quarterbacks that you take high in the lottery, especially when you're a team like Cleveland who consistently can't get it right, and you go from that to compounding the issue, making it worse with the Deshaun Watson trade, and then things are so bad yesterday with. Jameis Winston throwing picks left and right that they have to bench him and go to Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So, the Browns are a mess, and giving up on Baker as early as they did. Now, I'm not saying Baker would have turned things around had he stayed in Cleveland, but like you sort of wonder the what if now.
You have to give quarterbacks longer shelf life than an NHL head coach. That's first of all, in terms of an opportunity to grow. Two, what you said about Baker's confidence, it's the way that his teammates feed off him. Like every one of them wants to run through a wall for him. Like when you see your quarterback running downfield, trying to throw a block to help your tailback or whatever, like that stuff goes a long way. So and Cleveland, I mean, I thought it was funny how when Jameis Winston, when they finally put Deshaun Watson off to the side and Winston started, and like the first thing they're talking about, like after that big victory on Thursday night against the Steelers, is what quarterback options are for Cleveland next year. And it's like, how are you going to talk about that? What Jameis Winston is doing for you guys right now? And then it's like, oh yeah, you get that reminder usually like about a week or so later. Like he can't help himself but throw at least 1 to 2 interceptions a game. He can't.
Yeah, Jameis has consistently shown the last few weeks why he's not an NFL starting NFL starting quarterback in this league. But the problem with the Browns is they're obviously pot committed with the Deshaun Watson situation. So I don't know what they do there.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about worst contracts in sports, that's got to be it right there. Now we'll stay in the NFC East here. Team coming on late down the stretch here, but too late for the Dallas Cowboys. Cooper Rush at quarterback. All of a sudden, CeeDee Lamb has got no problem putting up stats again.
That Cowboys Panthers game is why I don't bet, because after the Cowboys lose that game on Monday night in the manner they did, I'm sitting there, I'm producing the show on VSiN, I'm talking to Wes Reynolds, I'm like, am I nuts for wanting to bet Carolina Panthers money line this week, thinking they're going to win that game outright? Like the way Carolina was playing the last few weeks, they're frisky against the Eagles, and they've played relatively well given their talent level, and then they just go and lay a complete egg at home against the Dallas Cowboys, who a team that's deader than dead. So this is why I don't bet sports. This is why I'm happily retired.
Cowboys are deader than dead, but that defense is not playing like it is, and it's a very tough defense. And they're going to be, they got to play what? The Commanders, the Eagles, and I forget who else Dallas has down the stretch here. Oh, the Tampa Bay on Sunday night coming up. So they're gonna play those teams tough, if nothing else. They're not going to the playoffs, but they haven't given up. Now this one, this could go like on a dating profile here. This is part of the Dream Team series, but not a player we're necessarily looking for there. But there's Sean Landeta, the punter.
I mean, that's almost as photogenic as Jake Haener.
That's maybe where Jake Haener got the inspiration from, is that Sean Landeta card like that. I mean, a punter has never looked so sexy than right there. I mean, look at that. Like that. He's got confidence there.
Certainly does.
He's like, I can put it inside the 20 anytime I need to. I put it inside the 10. All right. We got Brian Blades here, Seahawks receiver, brother of Benny Blades. They were both in the league. Benny was with the Lions for a while. We'll go back to, we can say this guy's a New Yorker there. He played with the Jets. He's also a morning sports talk. I could say an icon in New York now, Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, I would say he's an icon in New York, between his Jets playing career and the fact that he's been on, on the WFAN morning show for the better part of 2 decades now, or however long he's been a part of that show. Yeah, Boomer's an institution in New York at this point.
Long Island native, and he's been a real deal Ranger fan long before it came, since he was a kid and was going to games before it became the cool chic thing to do again. So yeah, kudos to Boomer. It's tough to not like Boomer. One of the all-time great football names there, Marion Butts. Sounds like a homer. It sounds like a Bart Simpson prank phone call to Moe's Tavern.
Do you think Marion Butts and Jake Butt get together for lunch?
I'll hang up and listen.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Now they have to. Somebody's got to make that happen. We got Brian Brennan there with the Browns. We talked plenty of Browns before. Green Bay Packers coming off a big win against Seattle there on Sunday night. I feel like somebody's going to give them a beating though before it's over. I feel like they're due for one.
Who, the Packers?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, because I don't think they're as good as Detroit, and I'm not even so sure they're as good as Minnesota in that division. The Packers are a really good team, and they're going to finish third, even though they're going to go 11-6, 12-5, or whatever, which is nuts. But I will say this about the Packers: Jordan Love's a dude. He's a really good quarterback. The only thing with him is you just hope he stays healthy. He's dealt with a lot of injuries already this year, and but yeah, shout out to Jordan Love and the Packers, who they've done it again. They found another franchise quarterback, and they moved on and found a silly, stupid team to take the old decrepit quarterback off their hands. I wonder what team that might be.
They're very good at that. Every about 15 years, they're real good at churning those quarterbacks like that.
Are you excited for Jordan Love to be a Jet in 2040?
I'll let you know in 2039. But yeah, the Packers, they finished with the Saints at home on Monday night. Then they got the Vikings in Minnesota, I believe. And then they close with the Bears. So they should be able to take at least 2 of those games. We'll see how the Vikings games go. Speaking of the Lions in the NFC North, there's Rodney Peete. Good quarterback in his day. Married Holly Robinson from Hanging with Mr. Cooper fame. Good quarterback there.
I don't really remember much of hanging with Mr. Cooper. I remember it was part of the TGIF lineup with some of the other shows they had back then, like Family Matters and Boy Meets World, and what was the other show that was on there? Step by Step, maybe.
Step by Step was up there. Home Improvement, I think, was like earlier in the week on like Tuesdays or whatever. But no, Mark Curry, good show hanging with Mr. Cooper. A lot of Warriors tie-ins there too, so that was cool. Because he like either made the war, like he got cut from the Warriors. I forget what the backstory was, but
the show was like based in the Bay Area, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like. I remember the show, but I couldn't tell you anything from the show. So
also great time intro theme. I won't butcher your eardrums and attempt to sing it, but you could go look it up on the internet. It's very 90s ish, but it was back when that was like the last era of TV intro themes.
Kids, you have to remember back in the day in the 90s, TV shows, they actually had intros. It was actually appointment viewing, like on Friday night. Like, it's like, all right, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch Boy Meets World, and I'm going to watch Step by Step. And if I'm not too tired, I'll stay up for hanging with Mr. Cooper.
Oh, and here's another thing while we're on, because I tell this to my daughter all the time. Like, there was a time where you couldn't just pause live TV or pause a live stream and be like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. No, you had like a 2.5 minute window to run to the bathroom and compete with that. If you had only one bathroom in the house, then it was a race. And then you had to get back in time. And if you missed what you missed, there was no rewinding and going back. There was none of that. So, yeah. Not to sound like the two old guys, but here we go. We got Dean Steinkuhler from the Houston Astros there. Houston Oilers. And then let's close the pack here. We'll run through a few of these. We got Bill Moss, defensive end from the Chiefs, and he was also a Fox NFL game analyst for a while there. We got Craig Ironhead Hayward there. Rest in peace. Picture with the Saints. Norm Johnson with the Seahawks there. And then finally, we close with a New York Jet, who was a pretty good punt and kick returner in his day, Terrence Mathis.
Yeah, overall, a very solid pack. You know how I feel about those Jets uniforms, that combo there that Terrence Mathis is rocking there. If nothing else with the Jets this season, at least they've managed to bring a good look back to the team every so often when they aren't messing around with like the black matte helmets and black jerseys and whatever weird combinations they like coming up with.
Yeah, that's my favorite look too. But unfortunately, every time they have that look, they just don't have success. So it gets
that speaks to a larger problem with the Jets, is that they haven't had any success with any look for the better part of 4.5 decades.
You might be on to something there. So there we go.